shared amongst the 5 of us. Esquire. Now, first of all, before you answer the question, you know how we do what we do when we do. Obviously, we are talking to Advocate Eliud Ngugi, Esquire, partner Ngugi Mburu Advocates here in the studio. What are your socials again, Baba? You know, I dove straight in. Go in there.
Wakili Ngugi on X, TikTok, Instagram, and Eliud Ngugi on LinkedIn.
There's no will here.
There's no will? This person died intestate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then clearly, Buddha, Badako.
Yes.
Muthe is still there. Now, these sisters are there and they're looking at their husbands and they say, these guys look like gold diggers. Anyway, not my words. So, we don't want to share because they are not our relatives. They are simply our husbands. Why should they inherit our mother's hard-earned sweat? What is the position, Baba?
The position is, we'll be asking, because when you die intestate, then you leave this decision to your family with the help of a judge to make that decision. So you have to go to court for the process of succession, where you appoint first the administrators, then you go to court to confirm the grant.
But
confirmation basically means that you appear, all of you appear in court. You as siblings appear in court, and you must show up and tell the court that you have consented. Where you have not consented, the siblings who are contesting or saying, no, we don't agree with how we are going to subdivide, then come in and they are heard, and you leave the judge to make the decision after hearing all the parties. And so in this case, these are children who are left by their mom. The question will be, do they qualify as dependents? The husbands, do they qualify as dependents as defined under Section 26 of the Succession Act of Kenya, which, one, it says dependents are A, former wives or husbands, or former, and the children of the deceased, whether or not they are maintained by the deceased person. Secondly, you can have a...
In English, please.
Yes. So, former wives, if the person, in this case, now, former husbands.
There's only one here.
Yes.
Who does not have, there's no spouse.
There's no spouse. There's a spouse. There's a dad.
No. Yeah? No. See, Muze is the widow.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah?
Yes.
Now, then these ladies, it's only one of them. The rest are married.
Yes.
It's only one of them who does not have a husband.
Yes.
Okay? So she's good to go. Now, these other sisters are like, do we need to give our husbands color that our mother worked for?
And I'm saying, if the husbands, the question to answer that, we are going to look at, are the husbands regarded under the law as dependents? And when we look at the law provides that dependents in any scenario are either now the widow, their dad, or second, the children, who are now these ladies who are here. And there's no mention under the Section 26 of the Succession Act that says also the husbands. What may happen is, if these girls or daughters of this lady who has passed on end up, maybe one or two of them pass on, their husband would come in and step in on behalf of the grandchildren of the deceased person. But they are not foreseen to inherit because they are not part of the dependents. Remember, one of the documents that you have to obtain when you are going through the process of succession is a letter from the chief to support the beneficiaries. So the letter from the chief will state the children of the person who passed on. In this case,
it's the ladies.
It will mention the ladies,
girls,
not their husbands.
Okay, so for one to be classified as a dependent, this law is very sexist, by the way, when I think about it. So a dependent, unless it's a house husband, they can't be dependent.
There's a provision. There's a provision. The third provision, we have said that under Section 26, it's either former wives, the children of the deceased, the wives, because former and then the wife. But also, TJ Kajwang led to the amendment of the Succession Act. Now it includes... Yes. Now it includes also former husbands or the husbands who are alive.
He was looking out for the men.
Yes. Then it provides now the grandparents, then stepchildren. It provides for that under B. Then in C, it also provides and says that if husbands, you must prove that you are being maintained by the deceased wife, for example.
How
as
does
a man.
What is that, like M-Pesa statement?
maybe you are a house husband.
Yes, a house husband.
So you
what
just
proof
need to
do
prove.
I provide?
Just prove. There are many ways. If you see me, if you call me, if you reach out to me, I'll tell you how you can prove.
Okay.
In court.
And then you've got to go. But then and a quick one. So why do you say former? You mean if somebody's divorced, they still have a right to my two things?
It's taken that they have contributed to some of these properties that you own. Even though they are your former, that matrimonial...
No, let us be clear.
Yes.
My mother's dead. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm. Then I was married before. Mm-hmm. That before still has a right to claim my mother's money.
Former, it doesn't say you're married before.
Yes, because I'm inheriting. Mm-hmm. Right?
You as a man.
Yes. Uh-huh. Okay, now let's assume I'm the ladies here.
Uh-huh. But you as a lady.
Yes, and then luckily I divorced that nigga. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. But now I'm into some inheritance. No, you want to tell me he can walk into my door and say, hey, boss, I used to be a hazo, so I want some of your mom's money.
Husbands are not foreseen to inherit. They are not dependents. What this provision looks at is if, for example, the mother in this case was divorced by the time she was passing on. So former husbands in this case can come in and say, hey, I was the sole breadwinner in this family. And so that particular piece of land that you are looking to inherit, I'm the one who bought it, I want a share of it.
So to answer this question, what Advocate Eliud Ngugi Esquire, you're telling this lady is that unless those your husbands can prove that they are dependent of you, there's no color here that they're eating.
No, what we're saying is they don't fall under the description of the definition of dependence.
Yes,
and therefore they cannot inherit.
But you see, I love the way lawyers speak. Do you see? We said the same thing. He just sounds more educated and cultured. Thank you, brother. Thank you so very much. Listen, say regards to the family. One more time, if somebody wants to reach out to you, how do they do that, boss?
Wakili Ngugi on X, TikTok, Instagram, and Eliud Ngugi on LinkedIn.
All right, then we're going to get to your comments next. Wakili, nashukuru sana. See you next week, my brother.